All right, aloha and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave, and of course we're talking about Tulsi Gabbard most of the time here on this channel. However, I want to branch out a little bit today and discuss Bernie Sanders and his fundraising and the media's blackout of that fundraising. Yesterday, I also want to talk about what happened yesterday with a video I posted, which not only got demonetized, but got permanently demonetized. And it was a discussion of how Tulsi Gabbard supporters these days are being branded as kooks and cult-like people. And it's interesting, I was defending Tulsi Gabbard supporters, and again, didn't use any harsh language, was pretty straightforward and passionate and so forth. And the video, which went fairly viral by my standards, again, I have, I think now 4,600 or so people who are subscribed to this channel, and roughly half of those subscribers watched the video in a short period of time, and the video went into demon status almost instantly, which either the algorithm is very hypersensitive or there is somebody who is purposely watching this channel, and when I upload a video, they get a notification about it. It's clear to me that the status quo, the people who are in charge of these platforms, these big tech companies, are really invested in keeping things the way they are. And I believe some of them would rather have Donald Trump as a daily punching bag than have someone who goes in and actually fixes things. Tulsi Gabbard is a threat because she doesn't believe in endless war. That is her prime issue. Bernie Sanders obviously is pushing for things that would hurt some of these tech companies and help ordinary folks. So what's interesting, USA Today, and I Googled this and I came up with a bunch of articles talking about Elizabeth Warren. When I typed in Bernie Sanders fundraising, I got stuff about Elizabeth Warren. Folks, we're all being kind of herded into a box. We have to choose this candidate, but we can't choose this other candidate. And even though Bernie Sanders had 1 million individual donors, 1 million in the last quarter, we've got Elizabeth Warren here topping everybody because I'm sure she got large donations, probably from people connected to corporations and other things. Here's what it says. Elizabeth Warren raised $19.1 million in the second quarter, cementing her status in the top tier of Democratic presidential contenders and a leading voice of the party's liberal base. She's a neoliberal, people. She's a neolib. She wants a green military. She wants green bombs. Really, she votes for bloated defense budgets. So I don't understand how that would appeal to the party's liberal base. But she has positioned herself as somebody who appears wonky and elitist. She doesn't come off as somebody who's for the working class. I don't think she relates to the working class. I don't think she's lived a life that at all understands. In other words, your life experiences, I think, should inform your ideology. And to me, she is just an ivory tower elitist, a professor who's made huge dollars on the backs of kids who now have enormous student loan debt. Here's this paragraph. Perhaps most notably, Warren's donations exceeded those reported by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Yes, they did. They exceeded, but the number of donors who gave to Bernie, and because they're a lower dollar amount, is far more representative. In other words, the little people, the people that don't have a fortune, are donating to Bernie Sanders. Their money is more valuable because they have to hold on to their dollars. They can't just say, hey, I've got $1,000 of disposable income this week. Let me give it to Elizabeth Warren. No, those Bernie people are giving like 15 or 20 bucks to Bernie. And to me, that is far more of a real achievement when it comes to this campaign cycle. Let me get back to Tulsi Gabbard for a second. I'm starting to understand the reality of what Tulsi is up against because she's not in this discussion. And people who harass me on Twitter are basically saying she's got no chance. She's at, 1%, 2% in some polls. And, the field got a little smaller because Swalwell dropped out, which who knew he was in, right? But he's gone. And that's going to be helpful for Tulsi and others who are maybe looking to get more traction. The problem is for Tulsi people is now we're getting inundated with, you guys are all connected to Russia. You're just crazy people who don't understand the realities of the way the system works, whereas Warren here is clearly working the system. Bernie is something of an anomaly because he's getting donations from lots and lots of people. We have to begin to realize that if Tulsi Gabbard is going to win the nomination, she's really going to have to skyrocket. She's not even qualified for the third debate yet. And if you want to help and you haven't given yet, please go to tulsi2020.com and donate. You can donate $1. She needs to be in there because nobody is really talking anti-war like Tulsi Gabbard. Nobody, not Bernie. Bernie, yes, Bernie has mentioned it, but this is Tulsi's hallmark issue. But even more amazing, though, than all of this gaslighting and all of the focus on corporate candidates is the idea that Sanders isn't doing that well. Warren's success underscores the threat she poses to both Sanders and Kamala Harris, whose $12 million second quarter fundraising got a major boost in the final days of last month from her performance in the first Democratic debate. By the way, Tulsi Gabbard is getting a lot of flack for calling Kamala Harris out on her treatment of Joe Biden. And Joe Biden right now appears to be just this punching bag. Look, I'm not for Biden, but all of this stuff about he's a racist and this and that, it's not going to help Democrats. It isn't going to help Democrats. I think they are overplaying that hand. And that's just a political observation. And you can disagree with me. There are people who vehemently disagree with me on Twitter. And I think, again, we do this at our own peril because there are serious issues out there that need attention, but yet we keep staying with the car accident. We keep looking back, rubbernecking at the car accident, which is identity politics. We keep looking at it. We keep focusing on it. These are the same people that are now still calling for Trump's impeachment. The country is really screwed up. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm very discouraged. I was discouraged yesterday, and I'm more discouraged today because it just seems as though the best candidate on that stage was Tulsi Gabbard in both debates. And by the way, the online searches and all that stuff prove that to be true. You can raise as much money as humanly possible, but it doesn't make you the best candidate up there. And I just can't see this woman as being the president of the United States when I'm talking about Elizabeth Warren. I think she would be a disaster against Donald Trump. I think Trump has already made her look stupid, and there's a good chance that he'll do it again. And none of those issues that Trump raised about Elizabeth Warren, none of those things have been resolved. It's like full steam ahead. We're just going to do what we've been doing. I don't think she's relatable. I think she's another Hillary Clinton to some degree. By the way, she supported Hillary Clinton when she, had to endorse. She endorsed Hillary. She didn't endorse Bernie. She's stealing a lot of Bernie's stuff, but yet she endorsed Hillary. It's all political calculation. I don't think any of these people have a soul. I think they just do stuff so they can acquire power. I don't think their goal is to help people, because you can't have that as your goal if you're supporting the military-industrial complex to the degree that you're supporting it, and not even rethinking how the military does what they do. Because that's where our expenditures are, that those expenditures need to be shifted to those who don't have and to those who've done what they're supposed to do but still don't have. I like to call that the least of these. This is stuff that I'm starting to sense that I'm not comfortable with a lot of these people who are around me, who focus on these tribal issues. And I guess I just look at all people as the same. I don't look at skin color. I don't look at sexual orientation. But everybody seems obsessed with it. And I'm not. I'm obsessed with fixing the problems. And if you think that those are the top problems, then we just disagree. I mean, you can include those in your list, but I think you need to prioritize. And we're not prioritizing. So this article really gives Bernie the shaft. And look, I'll support Bernie Sanders if this goes down to the point where Tulsi doesn't have a chance. I've already said that. I don't know how vociferously I'll support Bernie Sanders. I might be supporting Bernie Sanders with caveats. I may look elsewhere if neither Bernie or Tulsi succeed. I'm not part of a Bernie or bust movement. I'm not part of any sort of movement to draft Tulsi as a libertarian or as a Green Party candidate. I do think that at some point we're going to have to look at blowing up this two-party paradigm and really meaning it this time. Because each election cycle, people say, hey, this is it. But yet they keep going back. It's the abuse syndrome. They keep going back for more abuse rather than just leaving. Just leave. Just leave. It's going to hurt for a little while. And you'll feel like an outsider. But I already am an outsider, apparently, because I can't even do a video about how I'm being portrayed. I can't even do that video without big tech saying, nope, this isn't suitable for our advertisers. Because you're undermining our income stream here by talking about, say, the military-industrial complex or any of the topics that Tulsi and Bernie supporters of Mike Gravel, supporters of Jill Stein. Oh my gosh, you can't even mention Jill Stein's name. People start to lose it. They think she's just a paid-off Russian agent and so forth. And it's incomprehensible where we are these days. People just want to be represented by the government. They want the corruption to end. They want this crony capitalism to end. But it's full steam ahead. You got Elizabeth Warren. It's full steam ahead for Elizabeth Warren. That woman right there, she will be a crony capitalist dream. All right, so, all right, that's my video. See you soon.